So as background, as Betty said, my great-grandfather, Sampath Aiyengar, met Baba in the 30s and was in immediately attracted to him. And we come from a very traditional family, and he broke all traditions and decided that Baba was it in our household. So our home, which is today a little over 300 years old, is called Meher Bhavan. And across the street, Baba visited our house a couple of times and planted a tree, a people tree, and it's grown. It's a gigantic tree today. And so we have the Meher Ashram. Uh, my father's brother is called Meher Nath, and my sister is called Meher Kanti. So my kids, when we moved here, and moved here not knowing we were within walking distance of the Meher school. That was Baba's grace. When our fifth generation Baba lovers. My sister Meher was named by Baba. Mom took Meher to Baba, and he said, I mean, actually, before she was born, and Baba said her name will be Meher Kanti. So that was a blessing. So because my father grew up, he was really young. I mean, he was born into Baba's, so to speak. He viewed Baba as his best friend. So there was a very wonderful, warm relationship. But what he used to do, and later in the years, he would say he regretted it, that if he had a toothache, if he was going to pull his wisdom teeth out, he'd send a letter to Baba and say, I'm so nervous, I have to pull my teeth out, my wisdom tooth out. And Baba would promptly reply back and say, oh, Kasthuri, it's a petty affair, don't worry about it. So at exam time, off would go the letters to Baba. Baba, I'm worried about the exam. And Baba would write back. And Mom has saved many of those letters, and they're a treasure to behold. And so there are so many stories. Mom told me that when, my mother and father had an arranged marriage, they saw each other, I think, once for a couple of hours in a room filled with people. So my grandmother, my father's mother, was really loved Baba. She would sometimes run away from home to go and be with Baba. She told Baba that, we've fixed this alliance and Kasthuri is getting married to Leela. And Baba said, you know what? I already knew Leela is one of us already. And my mom said she was only 18 and she was coming from a more traditional household to this household that kept talking about Baba. And she wasn't quite sure how to adjust to that. But she said once she heard that, it made her feel like she was coming back to her family. The one story I have to tell you is personal. I met Baba twice. The first time, as is tradition in our family, before we join school, it's tradition to go to your guru and have the guru take your hand and write something on a chalkboard so that he initiates you into learning. So my sister had that done, and when she was a couple of years old, and Baba took her hand and drew the mischievous chicken, which is on the cover of the book, which was lovely. And so my turn came, and we traveled from Madras to Guru Prasad, and my dad had the little blackboard and the piece of chalk, and we went up to Baba, and Dad said, Baba, this is my second daughter, Niroop, please initiate her into learning, and gave him the little slate, but the chalk disappeared and nobody could find where the chalk piece was. So my father tells me, Baba just smiled. He picked up a rock from the ground and he kind of inscribed on the chalkboard something we didn't know, and we looked at it later. It was a mischievous chicken. And so my father tells me, and I totally get it, that Baba had a plan for me right from when I was young. I'm an architect by training. So he said, Baba knew. That's why he wrote on with a stone. And so I have this with me in my puja room. This is the slate that Baba wrote on. I have to remove the frame to be able to really see the mischievous chicken, but that doesn't matter. I know that Baba wrote, blessed me, and this is my blessing that I look at every day. So I wanted to share that with you.
Oh, that's a great story. Uh, now, you said you met him twice, Niroop? Oopsie. Look, you're muted again, Niroop. Oh,
Yes,
there.
once when I got this initiation, and the second, just a general visit to Baba in Pune, which was, we did the annual visits. Baba was at that point did not travel out. So we went, of course, it was a blessing. We went to see him, and all I can remember, and I must have been, I want to say about 5 or 6, or maybe even older. I have to ask mom. That I remember him, sitting on his chair. He always wore this beautiful, soft white kurta and pajamas, and he had this tiny little braid at the back, just a little one, like a ponytail braid. And I just remember going and hugging him, and just being so amused by that little braid. That's the thing that sticks in my mind. And just being hugged, and yeah. And so to this day, even with my children, we know that if there's an important milestone in any of our lives, there's a way that Baba shows up that day. It is without fail. If I have I applied for a job in Lafayette to be the Lafayette city manager. And the day before, when the decision was made, I received something from Meher Mount from Ojai. And you know what? It's not surprising to us anymore. It is just, if he didn't do it, I would be angry with him. But he is it's like he tells, and for all of us, not everyone, just not us, his presence is always there.
Well, your husband, Sanjay, worked, it must have been years, or at least a couple, on this book. Yeah,
Yes, Sanjay um, does not know Baba, and has been very respectful, but is not part of the Baba family. But what he wanted to get out of my father was, Dad had all these stories in his head. But if you knew my father is the most modest man I've ever met. He would not, gentle soul. And he would never talk about himself. That was the last thing he would do. But every once in a while he'd say something, and we'd like, why didn't you tell us before? And so Sanjay, when my parents would come and visit us annually for about 6 months, my Sanjay said, you need to tell me and I'll type it up for you. You don't have to write it. But my father then started writing it out. And then Sanjay typed the manuscript. And then we published it. And oftentimes my father would have roadblocks, and mom would step in and say, oh, this is what happened. And
oh,
we fill the gaps. Yeah.
his famous line is, "She completes me." I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
tell you how many times I heard him say that about her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for two people who had an arranged marriage and barely saw each other before marriage,
Uh,
they are hopelessly in love with each other. And they were together for 65 years before he passed. Yeah. Yeah.
on the video that he told a little bit about how it came that you got the boys into school. He thought it was a bit of
Oh,
a I wonder if you could tell that story.
certainly. So we moved from Chicago to LA to the Bay Area. We lived in Castro Valley, and I was looking for a job. This was 2001 and 2, 1991 and 92. And it was a time, it was a recession. There were no jobs available. I was a city planner. And so I looked, and finally, after a year's search, I got 2 job offers on the same day, one for the city of Alameda and one for Lafayette. And we knew nothing about the Bay Area. So my father said, I said, I'm going to go buy a book, the McCormick's Guide, which talks about schools, because we had kids, we wanted them in good schools. So he said, fine. And we went, picked up the book, and I said, because he was an avid reader, I said, Pop, look at Alameda, look at Lafayette, tell me which one I should accept. So he sat down and he opened the book. And lo and behold, what came up was schools in Lafayette. And the first was the Meher School. And he said, you're going to Lafayette. I'm like, why? He said, there's a Meher School. There's no Meher School in India. There's a Meher School right here. You are going to Lafayette. And I said, I know nothing about Lafayette. I know nothing about the Meher School. So we investigated, and we heard the Meher School was an excellent private school, K-5, but it was really difficult to get into the school. There was a long waiting list. So I called the school and I said, are you associated with Meher Baba? And they said, yes. I said, can we come and tour the school? And they said, of course, you're welcome. So we walk into the office, and my father looks up at Baba. I thought he would faint. He just looked, he's like, you have to join this. You have to. And then we sat down and we talked to Evans, who was the principal at the time. We talked to the others, and they came to know about our love for Baba. And Ellen said, you absolutely have to bring your children to the school. So it was such a blessing that Dad was there, because without Dad, I may not have gone and picked up this guide. And he just gave me the direction. And we were so blessed to be part of that school.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah. He said that it was August when you applied. The deadline had been long past. And
Yes.
school was starting in September.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. And we found a house within walking distance to the Meher School, and now it's really close to the sanctuary as well. And so I pinch myself sometimes when I walk. Saranap is filled with Baba lovers. And it's a little enclave in the middle of the Bay Area. If I had moved to Sunnyvale, we wouldn't have had this experience. But here I am. If I sometimes take walks and if I look in a window, I see a Baba picture, and I'm thinking, how fortunate am I? This is really, it's a miracle.
Destined to be.
It's Baba, yeah. Yeah.
Now I know you have to go.
I do. I have a meeting in a few minutes, but I just want to thank you so much for spending time and for inviting me. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. I was wondering, Pam has a song that he loved. A minute or two? Do you think you have that long that I could pick it down? I'll do it right now.
Your stories were so touching. Thank you for sharing. Wow.
Wonderful.
Sorry, here it is. Okay, let's see. Share some. All right, let me, okay, here he is. Let's play it.
The avatar is playing guitar, not I. He is the chords and he is the voice so high. So if you hear me make a mistake, it's really him, so give me driving the car, not I. I think of this when headlights shine in my eyes. So if you think I'm deaf, dumb, and blind, or if you think I'm losing my mind, the avatar is driving the car, not I. 2, 3, 4. The Holy One is having some fun with us. He's in control and he is the soul in us. And maybe he'll laugh and maybe he'll cry. Who knows what he'll do? He's that kind of guy. The Holy One is having some fun with us. Cha-cha-cha.
All right, Niroop, don't let us keep you. Jai Baba. Thank you.
Pam and Danny, that was brilliant. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Niroop,
Thank
so
you,
much.
Niroop.
Jai
Great
Baba.
to see you. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Oh, wow. Good. I'm glad we got that in before she left.
That was fun. Patty, you said something about a video of her grandfather or her father.
That's next. That's next on the agenda.
Oh, you're going to show it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically, it's his, he tells quite a few stories. They met in, well, you can, met at your home. Is that right, Pam?
Yes, well, we picked them up at the airport and we took them to our home, and immediately, as we're putting their bags down in their room, Mrs. Kasthuri, Leela, says, please call me godmother. And so, I was just blown away. I mean, she's just so sweet. And I mean, I'd never had anyone want me to call them godmother before. That was just, totally unexpected and delightful. And then later on, I was allowed to call Mr. Kasthuri Tataji, which means grandfather. So they were like, our close relatives, and they stayed with us for 3 days, and they're, just the sweetest people you ever want to meet.
And it's really the whole Tampa Bay region. We have a pretty big Baba group, especially at that time we did. And, so the whole group really pitched in, and we to put up something for them to come here. And then they were staying with us, and we would go to meetings several times at Dr. Tom Decker's house, where we had, at that time, that was where we had our meetings at. And Frank Davis was a member of the group, and he just had a new video camera, and he just recorded everything going on. So we have hours of this, and some of it's great and some of it maybe isn't, but anyway, it's a treasure, and over the years it's it's just become a wonderful thing. And so anyway, we sent all of that. So
Yeah.
there are great parts where he just talks and talks, and Leela talks a lot, and it's so funny, and it's so warm, because Leela will be, they know they're on camera, and Leela would be saying stories, and Kasthuri, and it was just like, they were just so good with each other, the way they would just smile, and even if it was something maybe not the most flattering thing, there's laughter, and just it was great. They're so warm, and he was just such a wonderful energy to be around.
He was
just
so,
like a child, like a really old child. The way he was so sweet.
that was what I was going to say. You had him in 2007. He was in 2012 when he visited us. So he was slowing down a little bit. And to see he was so animated.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, he was just a bundle of energy, and
When he talked about Baba, he just got animated, and just like he was on fire for Baba. It's so cute.
Well, I wonder I think I'll just get to it. And then if it doesn't, then I have a few excerpts. This again is the book that he and Sanjay put together. It's on Amazon. I think that might be partly why Baba folks don't necessarily know about it, because it didn't come through Shariar. Um, but yeah, so it didn't get the promotion, I guess. So this is what I'm. I think we need to let people know about it. It's a great story
Great book.
and such history. I mean, yeah, yeah, um, yeah. All right, I will start that video. I think. Well,
Can you-
just one. Yeah.
Can you say how long the video is? I'm just curious. Is it very long or?
It will be longer than we have. I think it's Kasthuri telling stories, and then it's people telling their own stories. The Kasturis. He says it's a feast. I wanna hear what you have to say. And so
Okay, I'm just curious.
yeah. So I think we'll cut it off at a certain point.
Yeah, you definitely have to
Yeah.
edit it.
Yeah.
It's four different CDs of videos, and not all of it is the essence of what we
Yeah,
were
right.
going for. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I will say, I was debating. The story in the early days of the Meher Messenger magazine. I don't know if you remember that. It was in the 30s. A man named Dastur is his last name. Originally edited this magazine for Baba called the Meher Messenger, but uh, he started putting commercial ads in it, and Baba didn't like that. I hope I'm not, maybe I have it exactly right, but definitely Baba did not want him to do that, and he continued to do it. And so he had Kasturi's grandfather start a new magazine called the Meher Gazette. And for a couple of years, both magazines ran simultaneously, with Baba continuing to tell Dastur, cease and desist, no advertising. And finally, so it wound up that Kasturi's grandpa, and then his sister, the grandpa's sister, edited the magazine. Anyway, it's kind of a family enterprise that they did. That was one of the many stories that Kasthuri tells. Okay, I will start then the video. Let's see. Unless anybody has any quick thing to say or question, or we can do that later. Pam, anything? No?
No, except I hope you won't play anything where I'm correcting Mr. Kasthuri.
Pam, that's right in the first video. I have to. It's not so egregious.
It's just that he was so easygoing, he didn't present himself as this professor on, this giant, thing. And he was so humble that, when what I thought was a mistake, I'd jump in and say, wait a minute, and so anyway,
And
now I look at it and I cringe.
so
How did I do
just
that?
don't listen to anything you hear Pam say. So
he would thank you. He'd say, "Oh yes, that
it
I."
was all
He was
warm.
so sweet.
It was all warm.
It's pretty hard to avoid. It's right there in the. Oh, I think I will. I do have a couple of photos that I thought I would show you of the family. And oopsie. So oops. Oh darn. Okay. Forgot to turn off my phone here. Sorry. Oh, yeah. And then we'll, okay, 1930. Okay, this is 1934. Okay, just quickly, I'll show you these photos. Sorry. His grandpa was just such an imposing figure. And why am I? Oh, here we go. Share screen. Okay. This one is the first one. And Grandpa's the one on the right with the turban, and then Kasthuri and his sister, who seem to kind of go through life together, are the two children down right next to Baba there. You can see that. So his father quite, don't you think, quite a figure there. Okay, and then there is, let's get the other one. This one. This is now 2 years later, and the two children are sitting, again, the father's the tall one in the white. And I don't know, I think that, I guess I can't say which one his mother is, Janaki, the mother of the two children. So there they are, the two kids sitting right in front. All right, now I'll get to the video. Okay.
And he said that his grandfather was very stern and, you know, children should be seen and not heard, that kind of guy. And so when Baba would come, you know, he would send them upstairs and Baba would come up there and start playing games and, you know, finger games, catch my finger and all these things, you know. And the grandfather would be like, what is happening here? Why are the children in the picture here? You know, it's like he so revered Baba. It was.
He called his grandpa a benevolent despot, and they were kind of afraid of him.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to just make sure. Sorry, folks. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, 1 minute, I say.
Are you okay with
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
And every thing I want to begin by Baba's grace. He has made it wonderful for me today to be in the company of precious Baba lovers like every one of you. This type of talk by bedside sometimes I have not done after in the earlier times because I was most dumb. But in 62, when Baba gave permission for darshan for my grandfather's family, I'll tell you about my grandfather shortly, to have his darshan at Guru Prasad. And the members at that time in summer were my mother, Janaki, Leela, my two daughters, Meher and Niroop, and myself. On a particular day, he permitted us to have darshan at Guru Prasad, which was a heaven because there was a long gap in seeing Darshana Baba and 62. So we were ready on the appointed day at Guru Prasad, maybe a little early also. And we are welcomed by a beaming Iraj, the wonder person in our life, like every Monday, so precious to us. And as usual, he keeps an eye whether Baba has come to the room, because when Baba is there, he has to be attending to it. But he finds that there is some time, he spends quality time with us, saying, welcome to Baba's place. Let me talk to you something before you have your darshan. And he says, I want to tell you, Kasthuri, two things. One, when you are in a Baba gathering today, and so many occasions I have been given, you remember that the person who is the prime is Baba. Baba is the chair. There is no special guest. Baba is the host, we are ordinary, number one. I said, I'm very sure after so many years of being with my grandfather, I know that. And he says also, remember, Baba often talks about your grandfather. That I don't know, because grandfather was rather disciplinarian He will say one thing, if you don't follow, he'll keep silent. So we don't know where our mistake is. He said, do you remember him? He asked me. I said, that I can't forget because grandfather brought all of us to Baba's fold. So we owe everything. Then he said, I want to tell you what Baba used to say about your grandfather. And he had a quote. I will tell you the quote in a second. He said, quote, I am for all in creation. I am for all in creation. But I come for a few like Sampath Aiyengar. That he said in April of 62. Maybe something which was a rejuvenation for me, because we have never forgotten our grandfather for the reason, sometime in the early 30s, he told my sister and myself, that is after he had Baba's darshan from 28 onward, remember one thing, and that you have God as Baba. Baba is God. He didn't stop with that. He said, I will not repeat it second time in your life. It means if my karma is good, I know Baba. If my karma is not good, I have lost it. And after that, there was no looking back. So this one, I remembered again in 85 when we had darshan at Mehrabad. 85 was very special because by chance we were at the Pilgrim Center for 7 days in December. Leela was there, I was there, and our grandson was there, 3. That was the occasion of Mehra's birthday. I mean, we didn't plan that. So there were celebrations 2 or 3 days before and during that day and after. There was also a wonderful play put by the Mandali. It was the coming of Milarepa, a Tibetan monk. The advent of Milarepa. And all our Mandali there, including Eric, Heather Nadal and others, took part. So it was a soul-filling experience. So after that, we had been to Meherazad, where we met the Mandali. Mani was there, Iraj was there. In the Mandali hall, Iraj reminds me, do you remember your grandfather? I said 1962 is aged in my memory. That's all. So the reason all this happened was, my grandfather was in the judicial service, serving in Andhra most of the time. His retirement was 32. So around 28, I get that when I read a magazine, I did not know till about the mid-90s how Baba brought him to his fold. I can't ask my grandfather, he passed away in 43. And we are so scared of him in the sense he was a mentor. He's what I can say, a benevolent despot, if you want to put it like that. So we didn't ask him, but we know. In our life we know that no second time is needed. So this happened. And he was a theosophist, he was an Arya Samajist, he was a member of the Masonic Lodge, all so many diverse. But I mean, this is my surmise. He had no peace of mind till Baba drew him to him. In his service time, he saw a photo of Baba in Andhra, corresponded with the Mandali, and then the connection was established. Before he met him in person, Baba drew him to him. And after that time, in 31, Baba had asked him, 30, he had asked him to edit a Meher Gazette. The Meher Gazette was the quarterly magazine about Baba. From 30 up to 38, the Meher Gazette functioned at different places because from 30 to 32, because he was in service. My aunt, the whole family was Baba lovers. Aunt was the editor because he cannot be editor when he is in service. 30 and 31, the magazines were there. 31, when Baba was at Kurnool, I presume because I heard it from Chaji, the first disciple of Baba, secretary to Baba, Baba wanted at a later time to convert the Mayor Gazette into a bi-monthly. And before that, he knew grandfather was retiring in 32, in late 32. They usually retire by end of the quarter, and those days, by December. And Baba, I think, gave him a list of his disciples in Europe. He asked grandfather to tour Europe for 4 months. So he took leave preparatory to retirement. September, October, November, December, gave the names of contacts in Europe only. Because I saw his diary, which also we saw only in the mid-90s at the proper time. So one of them whom we met in England was Meredith Starr in East Chalacomo, where Baba's center was there. Dr. Deshmukh, he met him, although Baba had already met him in January 32. That's the contact there. Then he met so many people in all countries of Europe where he had some reference. And in that case, I want to tell you one true story about my grandfather. My grandfather gave a list of the names of people to contact, one of whom was in Switzerland. So on that particular day, my grandfather was at that place in Switzerland expecting to meet the contact. And there was some time before the meeting was scheduled. So he was just looking up and he saw that there was a ride in a gondola from mount to mount. So there was some time, he booked a ticket for a subsequent flight. And he was waiting for that. Quite soon, the contact appeared. So Baba had instructed him to meet him. He met the contact, and what happens, none of I don't want to guess, I don't know, he won't tell me and I don't guess. But he told me this story. So the contact was established, and my grandfather was satisfied that he had served master by obeying him. At that time, the gondola trip had left. That's right. As they were talking, they heard that that trip met with an accident.
Oh.
So you said, every facet of your life, if you are honest, Baba guides you. A true incident that happened. So this was, then in 32 he had been to Europe and came back in December and met Baba in January 33 when they started the Meher Gazette as a bi-monthly. And it was transferred from Chennai originally, from it was in Kurnool till 32, 33 onward in Chennai, because he had retired.
That old Madras.
That old Madras.
Chennai, most of the people don't know.
Yeah.
That is Madras.
I'm sorry, I didn't. I think we did.
Please come.
Then, after that, please come.
Hey, Baba.
No, after that, there was the scare of the war. People had to evacuate Madras.
Yes.
So he purchased a house at Bangalore, shifted the printing to Bangalore till 38.
Your grandfather.
In 38,
Yeah.
right? But Baba advised that the journal be amalgamated with the Meher Baba journal. That is how transition came from 38 onward. The Meher Baba journal came into effect, and on Baba's orders, grandfather was one of the editors. Where Elizabeth Patterson, C.D. Deshmukh and those, yeah, I mean, some of you may know more about some of those things, but what I know, I'll tell you. Now, this is about my grandfather. So, rock solid, when we are there, my grandfather, my grandmother, and my grandmother's sisters are the second generation. My grandfather's mother-in-law, who was alive and had Baba's darshan, was the first generation. Then my grandfather had two daughters. One is my mother Janaki, younger one, and the elder one is Lakshmi, who edited the Meher Gazette. Third generation. Fourth generation are 5 of our siblings to my mother. My aunt, elder, she was a virgin widow. They were married young, and before any consummation, the husband passed on. I mean, with all those difficulties, Baba made her strong in Baba's love. She finished her graduation, finished her post-graduation by Baba's grace. Then the fifth generation are my two daughters. I have two daughters, and my sisters and brothers have children, so they are the fifth generation. The sixth generations are grandchildren. And two of them are with my first daughter, they were in Chennai, Madras. Two of them with my second daughter, we stay at Lafayette. And here is one magic of Baba. We are in a household at Lafayette where the grandsons got admitted to Meher School.
Elementary school.
It was up to 5th standard grade. We never knew there was a Meher School in Lafayette.
Yes.
No. And my daughter just sees a list of the educational cadre of each county. She sees Meher School. By that time, the admissions are closed because it was August, September they opened the schools. So we made an appeal, but no mention of Baba, because Baba never comes into the picture because he is the prime mover. If he says yes, it happens. He says no, we take with willingness whatever. So we lost hope. So my daughter was looking for other schools. She gets a call from the principal, you come. Then at Meher School, she sees every classroom with a photo of Meher Baba. Then she was saying, then the principal is asking, this is Meher School, how do you, I mean, I'm not connecting, but we have Baba followers, lovers. Then he said, I don't know how the connection was admitted. Otherwise they wouldn't have got admission. Then there's another story. I'm going off the track, but some important things I want to tell you. So at home at Lafayette, as in Madras, in Baba's home we have photos of Baba. I mean, that is natural. Every one of us have photos. How many photos I find in this house? I'm not jealous. Now, what happened was, this one, when we found that we had these photos and other things connected with Baba in the house, our grandchildren Vikram and Arjun are in Meher School. The school is non-denominational. Nobody in the school will talk of Baba, because people from all faiths come there. So when I go, say, for example, I told in Walnut Creek and Meher School, when I visit, in Walnut Creek, I am greeted Jai Baba. In Meher School, silent, because it is left to the individual to connect. It is a non-denominational school. They don't profess like that. But my grandson, seeing these photos at home, I never talk to him about Baba because it is left to Baba and the individual. He says, do you know this? Yes. I say, it is Baba. He is Baba Thai. In Tamil, Thai means mother. I will tell you how the grandson opened my eyes in the mid-90s to this. And I was thinking, what is very special about Vikram telling me about Baba Thai. So from that day onward, all my letters start with the mantra Baba Thai. Nothing, no second line unless first line is Baba Thai. And I was really, I get information only by Baba's desire. I was reading just a few months ago and I find Baba answering my question. He has said, I'll give the reference later. He has said, in every Advent, I'm not quoting, but I give the gist. In every Advent, the appearance of God has been as the Father, the Holy Father, or Meher Baba, the benevolent Father. It is only in this Advent that I have come not as God the Father, but also God the Mother. I give you the correct quote in detail, I don't remember now.
Actually, may I make a slight correction on that? He said, I am the Son of God the Father and the Son of God the Mother in this Advent.
Yeah,
Because we just got that on the email. That's how I know.
correct.
So,
Thanks for opening my eyes.
and
No, I read it, but it also answered to my question. And Vikram tells me, which is Baba time. No, we don't go afterwards. I mean, the connection has been made by the master and the pupil. When the pupil is ready, the master appears.
So, Tai in Tamil is mother.
Mother.
Yeah.
Tai. That we call Amma.
Amma.
But
Tai in Tamil,
that
Tamil is
is
mother, yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
mother.
That's why, he does not know Tamil.
That's right.
I don't know.
He doesn't know a single
He
word of Tamil.
had been born here. He had been, no doubt, when we were in Castro Valley, some other school. When Niroop got a job at Lafayette, we were looking for schools. We were late, we got Meher School. Even with that 4 or 5 years, no revelation to me. But one day he says the photo, do you know that? I know. He knows because every school has got classroom as a Baba photo. They celebrate Baba's birthday and also the Founders' Day, the Sufi, who are almost the same day. But this information at home he gives me, do you know? It's Baba time. That's all. And after that I never had any other thrill that he opened my eye. I'm always open to any information many of you will give, because I am waiting to hear your love stories of Baba, which will enrich me. And I don't have much time to that. Now, I now go back to, I will tell you Baba love stories about connected with my grandfather's family. And for that also I got a preamble. My grandfather, because of his love for grandchildren, he permitted me to correspond with Baba. I mean, when I am 5, 6 years onward, what to correspond, what can a young fellow do, you may ask, I don't know. But the first time I wrote to Baba was in 1936. That is, I was 10 years old. He made us write to Baba anything we wanted, not forgetting Baba is God. If you believe in that, you write. I mean, that's what he told me long ago. You can write to Baba, but be honest in your writing. So, he introduced us to Baba Mandali, very close Mandali, like Chanji. Dada Chanji was the first secretary. Second was Adi K. Irani, Adi Senior. For our family is Adi Kaka, uncle, number 2. The third one is the inimitable Iraj. Baba's mouthpiece, he doesn't like to be called, but we float him. He talks, and Baba is very careful. If he makes a mistake, he points out, otherwise he is with Baba. And lastly, Baba's younger brother, Jal, yes, Irani, in our family, he calls us to call him Jal Bai, Jal elder brother.
Elder brother, no, he's younger.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, younger.
Forgive me.
Younger brother.
Forgive me. I'm a little dazed. So all these 4, I communicated with them, the Mandali, and they have replied to our letters. Kindly come, please.
No, he's
Stand here. If you have time, you can share. They are in the album. These letters from 1936 onward, from all the Mandali and from Baba, they were lost, as Baba will normally allow us to do hide and seek. I found them in the middle of 1990s. Not one at a time, sometimes two, sometimes one after gaps, and not chronological. I am a student of geology. I look some old geology file, there will be a Baba photo or a Baba letter. So I collected them. In the late 90s, I got an album like this to put in sleeves, so that at least some of the letters are parchment and 1936. You can see them. There is all correspondence with Baba through the Mandali are worship. So no ego in me. They are not private correspondence. They tell us so many things about myself and Aiyengar's family and how we should behave. It is a learning experience for me every day. Now that's apart. I can tell you some stories. The first story I have told, there were so many stories connected with Baba, with some members of my grandfather's family. One of them relating to Andhra, I will tell you. The year was 1953, Baba's first visit to Andhra in January 53. We had been after my grandfather passed on in 43, Baba had asked Adi, who was in charge of correspondence, to keep the Aiyengar family old ladies in touch with Baba's movement. Because I lost my father, I lost my grandfather within a year, 43, 44. The only Baba lovers, or what we can say disciples at that time, were my mother's elder sister, that is my aunt, my grandmother's elder sister, and great-grandmother. All the old ones, grand old ladies, keep them informed. So Ali was doing that. So every stage when we get an information, my mother will pass on the information, we know that. Now this relates to my mother in 53. Baba was doing the tour, and of all the other members, elder members, my mother was a stormy rebel. She will fight with my father if she wants to go to see Baba, and my grandfather was a little resident. I'll tell you later how she ran away from Madras to Bangalore. Baba had an ashram at Bangalore. She went away without telling any one of us. For 7 days it was. But within a day, Baba informed my grandfather, Janaki is with me, don't worry, she will not commit the mistake again. But he allowed her to stay 7 days. So she had been there, and my sister was there. They were at Baba's place. The place he gave them to stay was Tade Palikuda for 4 days with Baba. So whenever Baba's party went, they used to accompany the party in a bus. This story about my mother is about how Baba waits for his lovers. It's a magical story when she told me. And Baba, after these 4 days, everywhere they went with Baba to so many other smaller stories which you read in books. But this one is not in the book, I'll tell you. The last day came. Baba was leaving for the next camp, and mother and sister had to take leave of our master. Anyway, part of the way was common. No doubt, at least they thought we go some way, Baba goes further. The party is always there, but Baba makes our longing better. So they were following him. After a time, they will take leave of Baba and move their way, come to Chennai, Madras, and Baba goes to the next camp. As they were going, suddenly Baba sees a small diversion or so, and there is an unscheduled halt. Nobody knows there. Baba says, get out. I mean, some more time with Baba means what? It is heaven. So all the people got down from the buses and Baba's place. They don't know why, but they have a bonus time now. After some time, Baba sees in a portion of the road a bunk, small stall. and a gentleman was selling soft drinks, cold drink. In those days, we had a cold drink coming in a glass bottle with what is called
Marble.
with a marble, which has to be pressed. It was under pressure. Aerated drinks under pressure. There was a marble. The marble has to be plunged with the thumb to make a plop, and then we drink either aerated soda or lime or orange. All of them are there. So he asked Iraj, go and see the bunk whether he can distribute cool drinks to our people. Another bonus for the party. So he went. Meanwhile, that bunk man is looking up. What is the party is here? But there is one person who is not talking. He looks saintly, and the people around him are so religiously devoted to him. He's surprised. So when Iraj went there, he said, Iraj said, my elder brother wants some drinks for the party. That's how he is incognito, called elder brother. So one by one, the drinks are passed on. When the last drink is over and everybody has got one, there are no more drinks. It is a petty shop. It is a bunk. There are no more drinks. And that man is still more honored that such a saint has taken all my stock today. Then after that, he asks, Baba asks Iraj to give the money. He said, no. You are good, like God, I won't accept it. Then Baba sends him, you have to obey me. I am your God, you say, this is prasad. Take it. The man takes the prasad with great humility. That is what. The aftermath, Iraj tells me, in 54 when he came, he passed away, there was no bunk. And Iraj tells me, people have told him that that gentleman has become a big financier and opened 2 restaurants. That is the aftermath. Now, the people are waiting at that stop. Still Baba has not started. More time for the people. Within a few seconds, from one of the byways, some noise is coming. They found they were a small group of men, women and children singing bhajans. They were coming on a side track. It happened, they are Baba lovers. They were not knowing about the different places nearby to visit and have darshan, but they know Baba is taking this road. At least in the road, let us come and pay homage to Baba. I mean, that depth of love made Baba stop, wait for them. He embraced them. They left. The party left. My mother and sister left. They would not have this experience any other way. Baba waits for his lovers. I got other stories like that, but this is connected to my family, that one. Then another one, 1947, was Baba's last visit to Madras. And in the case of Baba, what happens, we have seen in our life, that is what I call magic. Baba makes possible impossible and impossible possible. Okay. 47 was a time of the emergency, end of the war. They had not been completely decided. So after the program for Baba was decided, because my grandfather was no more, my aunt and my mother arranged for the darshan. There was a note that there must be no public meeting. I mean, it's just a type of emergencies. There was no feeding of people, no congregation in a road. I mean, how can Baba come and not give darshan and not that? So, I should think letters or telegrams were going forth and from him, and up to the last we are not sure. My aunt somehow managed to convince the authorities there will be no group on the road. There will be only private darshan inside a building. And somehow he managed the permission, got permission and wrote to Baba Baba came on that morning. There was no ceremonial reception to Baba on the station, like in 34. So, when Baba came to have darshan, he had only a group in Baba's residence where he stayed in 30 and 34. It is called Meher Bhavan at Chennai. So inside a large hall, a platform for Baba was put. We had arranged what is called a seating. It is in the form of a coiled serpent, 6 or 7 coils like a serpent, and with the hoods over that, a little raised platform seat like that. So, and it was not public. So when he came, he was giving darshan like that. On the second day, during darshan time, Baba is asking Iraj, who is that gentleman in the group? It's an elderly gentleman, I was told. And we were next to Baba on these places, sitting, standing behind. All these stories we don't know till Iraj told us in 85. This happened in 47. Wait. Now, then Iraj is asking, then the elderly gentleman was not able to get up. He had come with 2 grandsons. They said, we are from Indonesia. My grandfather wants to go to Hajj for the pilgrimage. Once in a lifetime, that is our plan. And therefore we have come. We came to Madras by ship in the morning. And the ship leaves for Mecca in the evening or late. By chance, somebody told us there is a saint in Madras somewhere. Somebody told us. We found the address and we are here. I don't know why you are called. Then Baba Iraj says on behalf of Baba, please ask the gentleman whether he will do what I want. Will you please, in front of me, circumambulate 3 times?
They do in Mecca.
They usually circumambulate. So he is sitting on the platform. The old gentleman, I don't know, it's Baba's grace for him. He circumambulated 3 times.
Around Baba?
After he came and sat down.
Around Baba?
No, Baba is at the back. You see, nobody could go behind Baba.
Right.
In front of Baba.
He just did his...
Because I'll show you the picture, it is in the corner.
Uh-huh.
The seat is in the corner. And they sat down. Iraj asked by Baba to give a photograph, some prasad, and informative detail. Within minutes, Iraj says the 3 were not found.
No.
Right. The sequel is, within a short time, his family of Indonesia saw the 3 back. Say, how come you had just left a few days ago, where is your Hajj trip? The grandson said, my grandfather has found his Hajj. And how do we know? One of those grandsons visited Mehrabad in 81. He has the pamphlet given at 47.
Oh, gee.
And by chance when he came, he met Iraj. Do you know my story of my grandfather? It's not known. We don't know. Nobody knows. This is what happened. We were back at Indonesia. People were thrilled that we came back, but my grandfather will was satisfied. The idea Iraj said at that time is, you can follow any leader, anyone, sincerely. The God you worship will be found in the one whom you see, if our faith is like that. So this is a wonderful story. And the wonderful story is connected to the other one. I won't tell you, but I'll tell you the heading for this. It is in a book. The story is, yes. It is all a question of Quaker oats. It is a story.
Yeah.
It is all a question of Quaker oats. The ingredients are the same, but I am the fresh stock. That is in quote. That is a full quota. That story is there about a one-time British family, just like this. Why do you worship this God and that God? When you have faith in Baba, what you want is desired and fulfilled. The military family, for their children were in want. They prayed, they didn't pray to Baba, they prayed to their Lord, whoever it is. He granted their wish. So that is another story. Another story concerns my aunt. When Baba was in Bangalore with an ashram, that 1939, 1940, he desired to visit a sacred place about 10 miles from Bangalore on the Mysore road. So, my aunt and grandfather arranged a vehicle for Baba and the group with him, and my aunt also. They went to a place. Baba finished his work. We don't know what he did. He wants to go to a place. Baba's work is finished. Baba said, we go back. On the way back, there was a young driver. As he was coming, there was a calf and some cows were on the, they have right of traffic in India. So the cows went off, the calf was run over by the vehicle. The vehicle stopped, the driver got frightened and ran off, and my aunt was shivering. Then Baba looked down and said, before doing something, he said to my aunt, you must be, the calf must be very lucky to have been run over by me. Not the quote, but the meaning. The story is in the book. But what to do? We are shivering, we don't know what will be the circumstance. Baba put his hand on the calf. It frisked and ran away.
Let's see. Sorry. I'm going to stop for a minute here. Sorry, we have another part. Any questions at this point or discussion? He's got some more stories, and then he asks people in the group to share their Baba experiences. Excuse me. So we might stop at that.
I think that'd probably be a good stopping point, Betty. When, I mean, most of us are here to hear Mr. Kasthuri, but that's just my own opinion.
Yeah, let me. Why have I lost him? Oh, okay. Sorry, it's going to take me a minute. Somehow I've lost the link.
It's so nice to see these stories again. We haven't looked at them in so long.
Oh.
And, they're just a treasure.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I think this will be it.
Elaborate because I have to share from you. That's why I'm telling you. I'm short. I'm very sorry. No, I just tell you.
Sorry.
Very little, very little. It tells you a story.
Sorry, I'll go back. Got to share this now. Let's see. Where's excerpt? Share screen.
By the way, our condo still looks exactly the same as it did then. It's like we're
Nice.
time warp here. We're in a time warp.
hope this is right now. No, it doesn't look right. Sorry. Wait, oh, wait, no. Part 2. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Part 2. All right.
See, like that, there are so many stories which some are. Then I'll give some Baba stories. See, things happened, I want to tell you. I told you in 62, we had darshan at Baba. And 58, 61, about 3 or 4, I don't remember the years. When we had Baba's permission for darshan, we were in Baba's presence with my mother. Every darshan was with family. Mother, there will be Leela and my grandchildren, and sometimes my sister. Yes, we are in Baba's presence, then Neeraj is there. Baba inquires, did you sleep well? First inquire, not that he doesn't know. Taken rest, ate, oh God. He wants to flatter our ego. He says, it's all Baba's all. Then he comes down and says, like, I tell them something. He asked, what is spirituality? I can never ever think of a question from a master. What is spiritual? I mean, what else, what little I know is, be a good person. What else can I think? It is such a profound question. And he says, no. He shows her and says, she is my foil. As I am unsteady, she is steady. Baba said, remember, you are a good foil because he arranged our wedding in heaven.
Foil?
And he says, he defines it. Spiritually, I quote now, poise, perfect poise. Make the best of every situation. He who upsets no one is a quote you may remember, is a good man. He who is upset by no one is a God man. So don't lose your cool. That is the mantra he gives. Like that, after this, when we are there, he tells a story about, I won't elaborate because I have to share from you.
That's why I'm telling you.
I will cut short, I'm very sorry. But no, I just tell you very little. He tells you a story about my grandfather, how he has been called by Baba a karma yogin. Karma yogin means one who does his work. That is why Baba had mentioned to Adi Senior in the list of his departed ones that Sampath Aiyengar is a circle member at Madras. And 1939, I'll just finish with this and no more. No, the reason is she is anxious
To hear.
for us to be fed by you all. Where's the chance for me in a lifetime? I just finished with this. And 1939, during the war, Baba said, during the war, 2 more of my circle will pass on before the end of the war. One of them may be a man and a woman, or both may be men. That was 39. My grandfather passed on in 43. And Adi reminded me, do you remember a circle member which Baba has mentioned against your grandfather's name? And you know who is the other one? I said, I don't know. 1944, Baba's first disciple, Chanji, Dada Chanji, he passed away. He had a desire to breathe his last in Kashmir, I believe. So Baba sent some work for him at Kashmir where he breathed his last. So before the end of the war, 2 of his circle members passed on. And these were related to us later. I didn't know all that. I didn't know anything about till I read Lord Mayor. and on my reading a lot Meher in the mid-90s. So this is about our family, how today we are with every one of you who is Baba lover and Baba family for me. Baba has made it happen today for me to meet so many of my Baba family. And as Iraj said, instead of calling them Baba lovers, put an added thing, Baba family of lovers. That unites every one of us so much. And if you are kind enough to
We want to
Do
know how
what-
you
to
came
feed
know
us
Baba.
with anything,
That's
because
Do you
in
have-
many cases Baba's approach is so different that this is not amazing, but we are starving.
No, we want to know your experience
No,
about
no.
How
do-
Baba's-
Do you have any special story that other than what he said of your own?
Yeah, mine also yes.
No, if I go on right,
There are so many,
there's no
you know,
time, there's no
Baba's
time.
stories never ends.
Ah,
Never ends. Because
See.
I was a staunch follower of Sai Baba,
first.
Shirdi. Baba calls him grandfather. He is one of the 5 masters. You know, 5 masters?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
All the 5.
I know.
He was
They know.
Muslim and
They know.
Hindu, or,
Sai Baba.
yeah, but I mean, he was
Yeah.
Muslim and Hindu together,
Yeah.
wasn't he? I mean, I've been to Shirdi.
Yeah,
Shirdi.
The
Oh.
silver and
Yeah.
the
Almost
shoes off.
similar to Baba, his life history, if you read.
and Baba has
Similar
said,
to Baba, if you have faith,
yeah,
you will believe him. Even now, he helps us, just like Baba.
and Baba's advice has been,
That is. And
Don't-
he has brought me to this family, 57 years back, to this family. The same.
God.
That family has tradition has passed on to Baba. From Sai Baba, it has come to Meher
Yeah.
Baba.
and I remember Baba's advice to, I mean, not to us, but what Iraj has told me and what Eric and Heather have told me, which I remember, when you come to Mehrabad, you leave from Mehrabad, take me with you, that we have heard. But during your visit your grandpa at Shirdi.
He always says
Yeah.
that.
Visit
Go
your,
to Shirdi.
I mean, he
Visit
gives
your
us such a
grandpa,
living.
then
Our
come back.
grandpa is Shirdi Sai Baba. Visit your grandpa, but don't go away from there. You can, because all the 5 masters are in Baba. You can visit Shirdi if you like, but come here, visit Shirdi, come here, take leave of me and go. That is so wonderful. It works every second in our life. So when we are at that place, we have a pilgrimage, imbibe Baba, come back, worship our master, and
And one
then,
thing we have experienced for so many years, anything in the house, something
good
from
order.
the ordinary, good or bad,
I mean,
some Baba message will come,
Yeah.
something, either some article or
a
some
phone call.
letter or a phone call or something. This has been going on for 57
Wow.
years.
Yeah, and just one more minute, 1 minute for me.
Then you won't
No, no,
stop.
no. See, because they are so intertwining. No, we were at Lafayette till 99. One day our house is erased in a cul-de-sac. My daughter was carrying material to be put for recycling. And the vehicle is at the high level, and she had already loaded one, and she was loading the second. I don't know how, I mean, she's an experienced driver, no problem. The car slipped, rolled down the slope, and stopped hitting a tree in our opposite. Our neighbors are wonderful neighbors, hit the tree and stopped. She was dragged all along.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, there was no outside her scratches or something. She was dragged along as she's walking in the door. No, my son-in-law was not in station. I mean, it was a joy to every one of us. no doubt we didn't think of Baba. It's a mistake. We have a phone call from Pam and Danny that day. How you are in the picture, I want to tell you. We had a phone call from Pam and Danny that day in Lafayette when my daughter was dragged along. I mean, they were the vehicle, the front was a little damaged and all that. Baba saved her life, and you gave us what is called hopes, because we have Baba lover, family lover, guarding every one of us.
No,
And today I want to tell you because it is relating to Pam and Daddy. As she says, we are very happy. We get, it may be anything. Or say, for example, I will only say Pam and Daddy because we exchange plenty of snail mail. Letters important, email, not that you can see it, snail mail.
Yeah.
We are so happy. We get a letter. Where's Pam and Daddy? We get a CD from them. You get a Baba calendar from them. In India we have. So it just shows that we are Baba family. Mostly I am connected with them, though I never saw them like this. He takes care. That's why you remember Baba said, the powerhouse will never fail, provided you take care of your connection with it. Period. That I want. I got so little bursting that I won't talk.
now, what about
Anyway, I mean, don't. So please. Left to them, because the order now of those who are going to feast us is left to Baba. So, I don't know who will feed us first. I mean, anything. See, the main reason we are both very concerned is this. We have been following Baba literature. How many people came to Baba during the 60s because of the flower power. The hard way. They have not seen Baba. They are more, when we see them, devoted to Baba. But in my case, you see, it was, I am jealous that I did not get a couple of kicks in my younger age when I met Baba. Because of my grandfather, it was a smooth sailing. And he made it so what I can say, more gradual for me. No going back, but after that, plenty of what I say, many disappointment and everything strengthened my faith in Baba like anything. But I am jealous of those who come to Baba the hard way. No doubt I had kicks from Baba. He says, yeah, tell me.
I think would be a nice thing if one person at a time would sit where Lauren's sitting, that we could call it the hot seat, and they could each tell their Baba stories.
Yeah.
Well, if you want.
If you like.
Voluntary, you know.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Or
that should be more complicated than
anything
it
is.
I'm just saying that because he's in the
Baba's
camera.
side.
Right.
Okay, well,
Please.
Okay, so I think at this point I'll. Oh, you saw only a black screen? Woo. Is that right, you guys?
Yeah, we saw a black screen. I tried to message you, but
Well,
Oh,
that's okay. We heard it.
it's great audio, though. We love to, and we know the original. Hope
Oh,
maybe
no.
somebody else, other people saw it. Maybe.
So sorry. Oh,
Okay.
dang. Okay.
Technology, you know, that's
That worked just audio. That was great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in so long, but we can see it. We have the originals here, so
well, you can see it on YouTube. So
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Hopefully,
Is,
you-
is it posted? Does Robin have it? How?
it's a
Oh, you know, I'll
it's on
share.
YouTube. If you look up the Kasthuri's 2007 visit to Tampa, you can find it on our
you mean
page.
all of that? On there
Yeah.
already? Oh, okay.
There's 3 videos on YouTube that you can
Okay.
easily find for the Kasthuri's visit.
Okay. Oh, folks, I'm so sorry. I will. I'll copy the link and post. One little thing I wanted to do was I flagged a few little excerpts from this book. Well, and I should ask too if anybody has anything they want to say or ask or at this point.
He seems like such a sweet man. I mean, you can just tell right away. It must have been a delight being
So self-effacing. He's so, my goodness. Yeah.
And he had so many great talks over that time he was here, and a whole other programs we had over at Tom Decker's condo too, and it was all well attended, and it was really, he was just such an energy. And Leela talked a lot too. We didn't get Leela had her own talks, and she was very good too. But,
Yes, she is. And we call that the Summer of Love because it was 2007 and we had Mr. Sharma here. I think that was the same year. And I think we might have had Dr. Morty here. I mean, we had all these people and then
maybe not over the
Kasturis.
same summer, but certainly close.
Actually,
to
Kasturis, I think they came in September, but still, it was just a magical year of visits.
And it wasn't just us by any means. It was our whole group. We have a diverse group, and other people. We just kind of say, "Who else can we get here?" And Kasthuri was certainly here.
Yeah, he came
several times.
times.
Once in our place, and mostly in Tom Decker's place. That
Kasthuri came several times. Is that what you said?
Al Kalturi.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Oh. He was the one that brought us to Baba, actually.
Really?
A little song called Stinking Garbage.
You mean that you wrote?
Yeah. That I wrote years and years before we ever met or even knew of Bal Kalturi.
Really?
But Bal was coming here because of the Tampa Bay area Baba group were bringing him here, and Christina Erasmo and Laura Erasmo. Christina was the calendar girl. She did the Baba calendars. Still does, but it might, I'm not sure about this year yet.
But Charlie had told me about Mayor Baba in 1979 when I was playing at a in a duo at a little place near the airport. It was hardly anyone was there, but it's like our first gig, and he kept telling us about this Mayor Baba, and I thought, oh, just another Maharishi type. So I ignored it, but he did tell us about him, and he had just come back from India, and so a couple of years later, I got this. Woke up with this song playing in my head. You think that your stinking garbage is better than anybody else's, and I thought, well, it's very catchy. It was a calypso tune, so I made it into a song. And we were performing it, Danny and I, in a little boutique kind of place. And in walks Charlie. I hadn't seen him in like 12 or more years, and he heard us playing Stinking Garbage, and so he said, oh, I'd like you to play that for this man from India that's coming.
That was already
like, really?
Coming to the
What?
area. We didn't know any of this.
You want us to play Stinking Garbage for a guy that's going to talk about spiritual things? He said, yes, because, and we found out later that was one of Bao's catchphrases, give Baba your stinking.
Really? Oh, that's amazing. Now, which Charlie? Charlie Gardner or Charlie?
Tom's brother.
Pardon?
Dr. Tom's brother, Charlie Decker.
Oh, different Charlie. Oh, that's amazing. This so stinking garbage is something that Baba just gave you. You didn't know it, huh?
Yeah. He just gave me this garbage and I made a song out of it. I'm one of these people, I can make a song out of any phrase you give me if it's a good phrase, So I just made a calypso song out of it, and we were singing, and everybody loved the song. And we didn't know what it was about, but later on we found out it was our key to meeting Baba.
Wow. Oh, that's a great story. So then you went and played it for Bao?
Oh yeah, we played it for Bao when he came, and he loved the song, and he liked my songs, and he's told me to write a song for the repentance prayer, which I did. And all of these songs are on our Lowman CD, which that first song you played was on. So if anyone wants to hear them, they're on YouTube under the Rubensteins.
That's what we look for, is the Rubensteins
Yeah, the
under YouTube.
Rubensteins and Lowman CD.
Ah, cool.
Stinking Garbage is on there, and the Avatar song. Avatar is playing guitar, not I.
You
So
know, Thinking Garbage is really so big. In my early years with Baba were in LA. We had the LA Sahavas. And one year at the Sahavas, Baoji was talking about dirty, stinking garbage so much. Jacko Caraco, he got string and he attached all these empty cans and stuff, maybe bags. Were you there, Betty? Do you remember? And he goes
No.
in and it was so noisy. And he came and he sat down in the front row while Bao was talking. And, it was just very funny because
and what did he do with the strings
it
of
was so
garbage?
weird. All he had to do was be there because, he walked in, he made an entrance. But yeah, he was just dragging all this garbage with him.
Paul probably loved it. So when you met Bao, Pam and Danny, was it? Was it instantaneous? Did it take a while for you to?
In '93, yeah, we met him, and on our way to the show, the Bao talk, it was at a church.
It was at a, yeah.
And I inwardly, when we arrived there, I inwardly asked Baba, I know Baba must be somebody great, because Charlie Decker has like wall-to-wall pictures in his condo of Mayor Baba. It must be great, but is he the one? So at Bao's talk, he kept saying, oh, he is the one, the same ancient one. He was Jesus, he was Muhammad, he was, all these other avatars. And it really made sense to us. Plus, we saw that he was just so humble and so gracious. And, and the group was just so fantastic. And we just felt, this feels right, because we had tried many churches, and I was a seeker. We had gone to all of these churches and tried to find the right path, and then it was just like instantly, Baba turned the key.
Actually, I was going along with Pam, just more or less to protect her. I wasn't seeking. I'm Jewish, we're the chosen people, whatever. I don't need to be searching. Yeah. Not that I really believe that, but we're not really born seekers. I was going along with Pam to Pentecostal churches and things in different parts of town that I don't think I want you to go by yourself, so I'll just go along. It's for, just for protection or whatever. Not that I really thought she would need it, but Val drew me into, he told the story about Baba, the way Baba would joke with him and send him, tell Val to go in and tell Kaikabad,
keep silence after 9.
Keep silence after 9 o'clock. And Kaikabad was silent all the time, And Bao would tell these things, and he would just laugh and laugh and laugh. He was so adorable, really. He would tear up telling these stories, and I was laughing. Anyway, it was just different things just drew us into the journey, So.
Oh, that's great. I love that dirty, stinking garbage connection. Do you still sing that song?
Not too often, no. But it was definitely one of the key things that brought us to Baba through that song.
Wow.
It's a little difficult to play, calypso on a 6-string guitar is just a little difficult to play. But it's a cool song if you ever want to hear it.
Sometime. Yeah.
Pam,
we could go. You have your
Pam. I have a Baba quote that would make a good song. It's just one line,
okay.
And I think it's love makes fast progress through its unbroken action of divine light.
Say it again, Rosie.
Love makes fast progress through its unbroken action of divine light.
Okay.
I just thought if I were writing music, I'd put that to music.
Okay, we'll send you the song, Rosalie, tomorrow. So
Yeah. Yeah. Special delivery.
Thanks, Rosalie. Does with that one.
Thank you for sharing this contact with these sweet people.
Thank you,
Uh,
you. And thank you, Betty,
yeah,
for
thank
bringing
you,
it all
Betty. This
together.
has been really good.
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny. He came to our place. I never understood. Well, we live in a little farm that's pretty. It's in a small town in Oregon, and here's my husband Dave. We want to say hi to the folks.
I gotta tell you, first it was 8 something, then it was 9 something, then all of a sudden it was 10:20, and didn't even know I was sleeping.
Oh no.
Wow.
Anyway, I'll tell you. So anyway, Kasthuri's wanted to come to our place. We had met them in California. Here, I'll show you.
Today's Friday.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
noon. Oh.
I did tell him we were going to do this today. So I just was, we had a nice meeting here and it worked, but I was just kind of floored that he would want to come out to see us. And so I wrote it up in a newsletter, but I didn't finish it. I only did half the story, basically up to where his grandpa passed. And then the newspaper, I stopped doing the newsletter. So I never did the other half of the story. So I have felt this sort of unfinished, obligation and also I realized that a lot of people don't know about that book, this book, because it didn't, Shahryar didn't get out in the more normal, sort of Baba. So anyway, I felt this mission to do this, to promote the book, which is wonderful. They did a great job, and I don't know, somehow do him justice.
Yeah.
And the anniversary of his passing is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. 5 years. 5 years ago he passed. Yeah. I wanted to read just a couple of little paragraphs, if that's short. So
sure.
Scott, Dave's in there. Scott, excuse me. Dave's in there, so you have to wait your turn. Okay? All right, sorry. This is the bathroom's over there. All right. Okay, so here's here. When he was 5, he met Baba. And he said, I saw him as a peaceful man with a smiling face, but there was a relentless energy in those haunting eyes that forever held me in rapture. I knew right then this was a very special person. I just love that description. And then there's another one about his grandpa and Baba. Grandpa and Baba had a very unique, unspoken bond and were perhaps linked spiritually. Both reveled in the company of each other, and during Grandpa's service at Kurnool, Baba came on a private visit for 3 days early in August of 1931 and stayed at Grandpa's cottage there. This was very unusual since by this time, Baba had gone into seclusion and would only avail himself sporadically. So great was his friendship with Grandpa. These visits were, as I believe now, literally a godsend to me. But at that time, it was simply a chance to be with Baba. I would stick to his every routine, and I particularly recollect that Baba had grown a beard, which he removed while at Kurnool. I thought that was interesting. Anyway, I recommend. It's a great little book, A Mischievous Chicken, at Amazon.
Great show it is on Amazon. We have it. Yeah, we have it.
Yeah. So, shall we wind it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I want to go hear more of your music. Glad to get to know you guys.
And it's so special, you know, to learn about someone you haven't heard of. I mean, I really wasn't aware of this family. And then here's this family with a long, what, 5, 6 generations with Baba. That's pretty remarkable. And you know, to now know about their story, that it would be wonderful to learn. So I've got a little glimpse into it. So thank you
Yeah.
very much for this.
It just occurred to me, you know that story about the old man who came on the Hajj and just didn't complete. My recollection, I think Erich tells that story, is that the man died. I mean, he wouldn't have been able to complete that Hajj anyway. That, but I know Kasthuri didn't say that. I maybe it was Erich who tells that story. I mean, he died not right then, but after, you know, so that it would have been at least difficult, if not impossible. That was how I remembered that story anyway. So. All right. So, Avatar Meher Baba, Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba, Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba, Ki Jai. All right then.
Great to be with you, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, always. Yeah, sorry about the black screen.
Oh, that's fine.
It was great audio.